Hello everyone. I have just finished building and organizing my workshop. After 18 months of hard work, I would assume that it shouldn't take that long if I had enough time dedicated to this project. But as I have a day job and a family to take care of, I had to balance between work, life, and woodworking. My very first project after building my workshop was this simple clamps rack system. Nothing fancy, just a slab of hard maple and shelf brackets attached to the wall with screws. They said that you can never have enough clamps, and that might be true if you will be making big projects at the same time, or if your project has several parts to be assembled at the same time. From my experience, I think that 10 clamps of different sizes should do the job for small shops like mine. Even though I have more than that, but I don't remember having my clamps rack empty at any point of time until now. In my collection of clamps, I've tried to have several types of clamps, as this will give me more versatility when clamping different types of projects. I have pipe clamps from Bandsaw. They are cheaper than other types and they apply tremendous clamping pressure and can be extended as long as you like just by adding longer pipes. The main drawback of pipe clamps is that they have short jaws, and this requires you to use them on both sides of the clamp pieces to even out the pressure. In addition to the pipe clamps, I have invested in bar clamps, C-clamps, and quick grip clamps, but the most used ones that I keep reaching out for are the pipe and the bar clamps, especially when gluing boards. It is good to have a fire extinguisher somewhere in your workshop, especially if you are using flammable stuff, as most of us do. This is my mini bar fridge, biscuit supplies, and coffee machine, which I highly recommend. These are, of course, not woodworking tools, but will prevent starvation when working hard on a project. Moving forward, this is my 15-inch Dayton bandsaw. It is made in Taiwan, and it does a good job for ripping stocks and curves cutting. Remember that many things that can be done on the bandsaw can also be done using a jigsaw, but not everything, especially if you are ripping or cutting thick stock or veneer. Then you should consider a bandsaw, and the bigger and more powerful your bandsaw is, the better, as this will give you more ripping capacity and more speed when cutting logs or thick stocks. This is a gigantic dust cyclone that I have built a year ago or so, and it is a lifesaver, particularly in small and less ventilated workshops, as without it, I will spend hours cleaning and breathing dust. One thing that I am not very satisfied with is the 1.5 horsepower motor on my dust extracting system. And based on my experience, if you will attach a dust extractor to a big cyclone like this one, then you should consider a 3 horsepower motor or even bigger, depending on the size of your workshop. I will consider upgrading my motor sometimes later when the budget allows for that, hopefully. If you are spending long hours standing in your workshop, like most of us do, then you might consider having a rubber floor of some kind. This will serve 2 purposes. First, it will reduce stress building up on your back and knees, which is going to happen if you keep walking or standing for a long time on a concrete floor. Second, it will dampen machine's vibration and reduce noise. Moving to my jointer. This is an 8-inch jet jointer that I have used almost on every project, and it shines the most when you have lots of stock that required flattening and you have limited time or lacking enough energy, as almost anything that an electric jointer can do can also be done by a hand plane jointer, a number 7 or number 8. Like many other woodworking machines, the bigger your jointer is, the wider the stock that you can run through it, but that will make it more expensive, more difficult to move if required, and will take more space in your workshop. Like many other woodworkers, I consider my table saw as the workhorse of my workshop. It can rip, cross-cut, make dados, tenons, miter cuts, and many other types of cuts if you use the proper jig. This table saw has a 3 horsepower motor, which is more than enough for most woodworking jobs. It is made by Harvey Company in China, which I believe producing many other table saw brands in the US, Australia, and the UK. To be honest, This table so exceeds my expectations when it comes to power and accuracy after 18 months of daily use, and I couldn't be happier so far. This is my first workbench. I built this workbench back in 2009, and now I'm using it as a storage bench for wood scraps and some of my machineries. As I am limited in space, I had no other choice but to stockpile my lathe, drill press, spindle sander, and mortising machine on the workbench top and move them as necessary when they are in use. Luckily, this jet drum sander has a space underneath to accommodate the thickness planer and a wheelbase to move it back home when not in use. Both machines do almost the same job. However, they are still different from one another, as when the stock that you are milling becomes thinner than 1/4 of an inch or maximum 1/8 of an inch, then it is time to move to the drum sander, or you will risk blowing up your workpiece. However, if I will choose between both of them, I will choose the thickness planer over the drum sander, as the first is more reliable and faster for thicknessing long and rough stock. This is a German-made CNC machine that I have used few times so far, but never mastered yet. It has a learning curve like any other woodworking tool. The main difference is that this one is not operated by hand, but by a software. This is why some woodworkers do not consider it as a woodworking machine, even when it is used for woodworking. Regardless of that, it is still a nice addition to have in your workshop if you don't mind adding some artificial intelligence touch to your woodworking and learning new things. I recently finished making this French clay tool storage system, and it was a game changer for me, as searching for a tool in the middle of a project is very frustrating and sometimes pushes you to find another way to do the job that requires a particular tool that you cannot locate. This project costs me 2 sheets of plywood only and many hours to build. But when it was completed, it was well worth the effort and time invested to finish it. Having your workbench nearby most of your tool storage will increase your productivity and will put most of your tools at your hand's reach when you are standing in front of your workbench. This way, you can pick up and return any tool without the need to move around. Also, will be easier for you to visually locate most of the tools just by looking at the wall or the tools cabinet. In the end, I hope that the information shared on this video was helpful for you in your woodworking journey, and if you have better workshop layout ideas or advice that might be helpful to me or other viewers, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching and happy woodworking.